Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach, and as you can see, I have on some weekend clothing. So it's getting pretty hot now in Minnesota with the summer here, and not atypical to be wearing tank tops in the summer. I think it's going to get to 90 today. I wanted to do a bike ride this morning, but I think this is the second to last week in July or last weekend in July, but wanted to do a bike ride this morning, but it was kind of cloudy and looks like some storms are going to come through, so I'm waiting a little bit until I get out. I was talking to my wife about this. I'm finding that in the summer I like doing the long bike rides on a Saturday, but when I used to play golf a lot, I would make sure I had a tee time on Saturday at a new course somewhere around the Twin Cities, and I'd do it really early so I could get it in when usually the weather wouldn't move in until later in the day, and it wasn't as hot. So I said to her, well, maybe I should start doing this with bike rides and getting up a little earlier on Saturdays and then going on a bike ride. Fortunately, that didn't work out this morning, so hopefully I can get it in about an hour or two. So I thought, well, let's do some coding things. So there's two issues that I want to fix with rocks, and again, this is trying to not do too much because I have the feeling that if I start going down the source generator route with it, there's going to be a lot of refactoring because rocks is now based on a fair amount of reflection because it's actually looking at the type given to it at runtime. So it's using reflection to find out a bunch of information. Whereas if I'm going the source generator route, all of it is going to now be completely based on the compiler API and doing discovery that way. So I think it's going to be a pretty big rewrite in a lot of ways. So in any event, I found this one issue, which is I've been working on building my website back up, and long story short, I fell on the solution of update it, keep it in .NET. I was playing with maybe using some static site generators and things like that, but I have a fair amount of blogs posts from years gone by that I wanted to keep. And it seemed like the simplest way was to just keep that in the database that I currently have. I want to update the site for Blazor, and then I'm thinking about hosting it in Azure, mostly because I have credits there, and I thought, well, I think it'd be fairly straightforward to go there. So I'm rewriting all this, everything in .NET Core, and I've stripped out a lot in terms of what's in the database. It's actually really, really simple now. So hopefully I'll be able to get there and make it pretty easy and straightforward. But I ran into this issue, which is I was trying to mock out a IDB connection because I'm playing with Dapper right now. And, was writing some tests and trying to do this. Long story short, I fell on a different idea. But I still saw that this was giving an error. So I wanted to dive into this and go, why is this actually happening? So let's go into here. Let's go to the right thing. And this is what, 125, 5, make issue, new branch. Yes, and somebody gave me a pull request. You may have seen that up in the top of the screen. Somebody gave me a pull request to do GitHub Actions. So it's somebody that I know in the Twin Cities area. It was really unexpected. It came out of nowhere. But it was something that I've actually had as an issue for rocks. It just kind of a low priority to me, just something I wanted to do. So that came in. I'm like, hey, I love pull requests. I will always take pull requests. Well, if they're good. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Okay, so coming back to here. Let's go to the actual right project and not this one. And I was also playing with, I did a workshop, 4-hour workshop this past week, and I put in an example of how you can use bench, because it was on testing in .NET. I did a benchmark thing at the end, and I was giving an example of how you can use the NuGet stuff and benchmark to have tests against a NuGet package. So long as the code still compiled the same, you could go down that route. And that was pretty interesting to do. So that's what was up there. Okay, we're on the right branch. First thing to do, let's get a test to see if we can kind of figure out what's going here. Do I have just make tests? Yes, I do. Okay, so we'll put one in here. Maybe I'll be able to generalize it once I figure out what's going on. First things first, let's manage the packages, see if there's any updates. There's one for the test adapter. Fine, we can put that in there. That's pretty inconsequential, or at least it should be. By the way, you can't see it here, but I just got a table here, and so it's a little bit wider than the fold-out table that I was using for this. So I have a little bit more room to put more crap on my table and clutter it up. Actually, now that I have the table here, I want to put over here, I want to get a monitor and be able to have both this and this here. So that will take up a little bit of space, which is fine, no big deal. That's kind of why I got the table in the first place. So I really like it. It matched exactly the same height as my desk here. So all is really good. Really, really happy that I have this stability now. So hopefully things aren't shaking as I'm writing this. Okay, let's come back here. Let's put in a test, and we'll say public. Actually, before we do this, let's just make sure that we're in release mode. Yes, we are, and all tests passed. I'm just going to run all the tests first. This shouldn't be a problem, but I've got to make sure all the tests pass first. And there's another thing I'm going to put in. I don't know how long this is going to take for me to figure out, but there is another issue that I currently have. If I go here and I show you shared, it's not a problem, but this shouldn't be fixtures. This should actually be children, because fixture says run all, like if I have, how to explain this? If I have tests within a fixture, I believe, then run all those tests in parallel, but only do it one fixture at a time. So you'll get a fixture, you'll grab all the tests from there, run all those in parallel. Then you'll get another fixture, you'll run all the tests in parallel. I think that's what that means if I hover over this. And that's not quite, descendants of the test down to the level of test fixtures may be run in parallel. The point is, what I really want is children. Okay? And that basically says find all the tests and just let them go, run them in parallel. So I think that's more of what I'm looking for. Okay, all the tests pass. Let's come back here and say test public static void make IDB connection. Okay. So we're going to say var chunk is equal to rock.make IDB connection. And I think that was the only thing that you needed to do. So now you could say, do the right thing. Assert that rock.make throws nothing. And then we should do that as expression body member. So that's really what I'm trying to do. Okay, so let's run this test. And hopefully this fails, because that's what I was seeing before. If it doesn't fail, I'm going to feel stupid. Good, it failed. All right. That's a good thing. Let's see why it failed. Compilation inspection. Okay. So let's get rid of that. Go into debug mode. Run this test in the debugger, and we'll see if we can figure out why this is failing. And of course, if you followed this channel and you see me do things in rocks, there are sometimes very odd corner cases or just things I did not expect that come up, and I'm like, what? Why? Who did this? Well, I did this. It's my fault. Yeah. All right, so we got two of them that are coming out. Let's just grab these, and let's do Notepad ++. Nope. Possible no reference return. Possible. Not probable, possible. Okay. Now here's the oh, come on. That's preview tabs. Turn those off. Do not like it when it does that. I just don't like the preview tab. I find that annoying. Here's the interesting thing, is that if I actually make this public static void create IDB connection var chunk to rock create IDB connection. Let's just say handle let's just say open, because I believe that's a, yeah. And then we say var rock, I think is the way I do it, chunk dot make rock open chunk verify. If I run this test, I believe it actually succeeds. So it's not when you're actually making a mock with expectations, I believe. You see that passes. But there's something in doing this that fails. So let's do rock options. File. Okay, so let's run this again. Let's see if we can grab where the file is so that we can look at the data. Come on, hide all the things. Okay, so what we want to do now, here, let's go to Explorer. And there should be there it is. Okay. Okay, so this is at line 67. Will there just get default set? That's interesting. I find that kind of funny. Let's just make sure that we're lining apples to apples here. Diagnostic scripts. Again, I almost would believe that they are actually the right things, but let's just make sure. Yeah, they're off now a little bit. So let's go to 57. So the connection string, I bet it's saying it's returning a null value or a possible null value. Same thing with here, string and database. And when we do this, so let's say, stop debugging, save the file. If we look at IDB connection, well, see, here's the thing too. It doesn't necessarily, I'll go. It says it's a string. Oh, I bet I know what's going on. I bet I know what's going on. See, the thing I'm babbling about here is that the issue I found with the allow null attribute is that you can, how do I want to say this? You can do like this metadata go to definition, and it didn't necessarily show that the attribute was there. If you go look in the file, it would show you, yes, it's actually defined on the property. But these are nullable attributes. I'm sorry, these are nullable annotations. So they should actually show up here. I think they've gotten that down so that it actually is doing the right thing. Why is this being weird where it's scrolling? That's odd. Being very, ugh. Okay, so I think what's actually happening here is when I generate the make, as you're seeing here, public string, connection string, giving it a default. Doing a set, doing nothing is fine. Doing this is okay, but because you're just returning the default, but doing a string of database is not correct because you need to actually return the default value, what is the default value of a reference type? It's null, so it's going, I don't know what to do. But of course, now the problem is that for any arbitrary reference type that has to be non-nullable, how do you return something back that should be not null? You can't just say new on it. You can't think of a constructor. So let's play with something here, and I think I have an idea as to what needs to happen. If I say public class prop, okay, and let's say public string value. Oh, that's weird. The text, like the font got a little off here. You notice that? It's like it's not the right font. If I say get here, and I say default, possible null reference return value. Still doesn't like it. Expression body for properties. So if I did that, yeah, it gives the problem there. So what we need to do is say whenever we're doing a make and we're doing a nullable, non-nullable reference value or anything back, just always say default, and that will return a null. That will be wrong, but in this case, typically when I'm doing makes, I'm just saying I don't care about what the property, what the members are doing. There's no guarantee that you'll get anything back. It's really meant to be a dummy object holder. Yeah. So we've now generalized this, so we don't need to worry about I am for making. So let's do this. Let's. And I bet I don't have something down here, yeah, where I'm returning. Well, task event is. I was wondering if I was actually returning anything that was what am I trying to say? Make with reference type. That is bizarre. Like it's like switching fonts. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm just kind of curious. Fonts. And it's Cascadia code. Well, the size is 16. I actually ramped that up because I used to have that really high for some reason, and now I don't. Okay, so what we want to have is public class reference returns. And actually, let's make it an interface. It doesn't matter, but we want to have a string value, which is a get and a set. Okay. Yeah, that's freaky. Oh, it's doing that. And then we want to have a string get value, because I'm very uncreative. Okay. So what is this thing here? Oh, jeez. Get something. You happy now? Good. Make with reference return type. So we really don't need I reference return. Okay. We'll take this off for now. That definitely should not throw. Okay, so now we got to dive into the bowels of what in the world am I actually doing in my code to do this. Again, this is just like, I don't always remember what I am doing. This will take me a second. I might have to pause it here so you don't see me just diving in and going, what am I doing? What am I doing? So if I say here, because a make doesn't have a, it is just make. So we do rock options. The options is null. Map for make, validate. We do a rock new rock, or is make. It's kind of interesting is if I do a, if the type is sealed, consumably sealed type of direct instructor notes. Oh, whatever. But the is make is the only thing that's tracing here. Is a new in-memory rock. Or we pass in that. So where is this being used? InMemory Maker. Okay, so we go to InMemory Maker. Which gives us the mock. Where is this all being used? Just in the builder. Oh, come on. It wouldn't just be for the type name generator. Oh, that's that. Okay. Yeah, the base. So if we go to the base here, there's an is make. Where's all that being? That's in the constructor. And then get generated methods and get generated properties. Okay, so we want, just make sure I got my notes down here. Need to address and so let's do the properties one first. That's this one. So where is this all being used? Just in one spot. Handle public property. Okay. Again, Jason, you've written this code. How do you not know? Handle public property, which has an is make. Handle the public getter, and handle the public setter. Okay, so we need to do that and setter. Let's just take this off because we don't really care. Let's look at the getter first. If is make, get property get for make. Well, that's going to be easy, isn't it? Default. Except, you know what? Hold on. What happens if I had something like public class X? What? It won't type in an X. Wow, that is bizarre. Public int value. Okay, that's fine. It's just saying really due to the default. And I figured that was okay. This is almost getting like really screwed up with like the thing here should actually be like one line. And if I do something like varx is equal to 3 not equal to 4, it's not doing the fonting, the thinging right. I'm kind of curious here. Fonts and colors. It is Cascadia code. Let's just make it Consolis for just a second. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now let's go back to search. And let's change it to Cascadia code. Something's a little kerflooey because that's not doing the right thing there. Should be okay, whatever. So that the point is that's fine. So if I come back here to property templates, doing default should be okay. And I imagine if I come into method templates, here, just look for make. Get action method for make, get action method. There shouldn't be anything to do with action methods because you're not returning anything. Get function for make. Return method, templates, get default, return value, bang. Now this should screw up a couple of tests, but the thing I just hesitated on is, did I run this without, so let's go back here. We know it's, we know that here, we know it's not here, not here, not here, not here, not here, not here. It's in the property template. So let's turn that back off. Let's come to method templates. Let's turn that back off. And let's go to make. Let's run the test. It should fail. But then we'll go back in those other two and find out what the problem is. Or fix the problem is what I meant to say. So this should fail. And it does. Okay, let's go here. Let's bang it. Let's go here. Let's bang. What? Civet. What? Run the test again. See if it works. Still didn't. Well, darn it, I thought I was being creative. Length of 1. Duplicate null suppression operator. Was this only happening on properties? Go away, application insights. I bet it was. I bet it was, and I was just being stupid. Yeah, get default return value. I bet. Yeah, I was already doing that. Okay. So actually, this was never a problem with return values. This was just a problem with the return values on a getter. Correct? Good. I just want to say if I do IDB connection, now that should work. Like I want to have the right solution in. And did it. Yes, it does. We have solved it. Okay, so let's take that out. Let's go to the definition. We never needed to do anything with that. That was the only thing we ever needed to care about. And actually, we probably only ever needed to do it for a get, is my guess. You only test the things that you really want to test. And pass. All right, let's go to release, release all the things. We're going to fix this, and then I'm just going to put that other thing in, and then we're done. Because maybe I can go on my bike ride if it's not too storming out. So, oh God, bad things. What the heck? No. Why? Why would you? Oh, you know what? We're just going to close you, and we're going to open you up again. Because obviously you're not happy about something. Okay? Come on, Visual Studios, you can do it. See, now we're getting the right fonting thingy stuff. Var(x) is equal to 3, not equal to... There we go! Yeah, see, if you want to be the developer among developers, sometimes you just got to turn it off and turn it on again. Yes, I will update you, Visual Studio. You can't see that because my camera's in the way, but let's make sure that we're there, and let's run tests again, and hopefully Actually, I should change the name of that method to say make with reference property reference type return. And be very official as to what I'm actually trying to test. Actually, it should be off testing now, so let's make this property reference type return. Let's rename that property reference type return. Oh God! What? What is the failing? Why are only 2 not running? Did I confuse it? Did I confuse it? Oh, okay, that's fine because that actually should be there. Okay, run all the tests again. That's a test. That should run. I mean, it shouldn't be. Maybe I confused the crap out of it. Oh, it's changing names. Maybe it just, I don't know. We'll make sure that when this runs, that's all good. And see, if I had the PR committed, I would have had a GitHub action just build everything. Good. We are good. We are golden. We are golden. This is 125 change return on property getter to default. Push. All right, cut this out, and then we'll come to the other one. We'll fix that one. All right, we're back. Everything has been decommitted, so we're going to quickly do this one. Quickly, I say quickly. Parallel. I probably spelled that wrong, but that's okay. Because this should be just quick, but this again is probably going to be one of those things of, what is it going to bust? What is it going to break? Okay, so we have tests here. I want to say children. Do I have this anywhere else? Just that one spot. Okay, let's run all the tests again. This one should be pretty straightforward. Should be. Maybe this is going to bring up a case of where something goes wrong. And even if they pass, maybe there's now a hidden issue somewhere. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't think it's going to make it run that like noticeably faster, like the total time. I think it's probably going to be around the same. And I didn't look at the value when I did this. I'll have to watch the video and see was there any significant change. 21.8. I don't know if that was really that much faster, to be honest. We are running tests in parallel. Let's do it again. We are in release. I'm pretty convinced that children is what we want. We want to say run all the tests, no matter where they are, in parallel. Though, because you really don't, well, so now we're seeing 19.6. I'm just curious, do you really see any kind of difference when I run these? I want to keep it to children because I think that's right. But this is a very general performance test. I don't even call it a performance test. We had 19.6. It was 21 seconds before. I bet it's going to be around the same thing with fixtures. It probably won't be any different. Yeah, there's hardly any difference. And I bet it's just because we have so many tests, and even though it's, yeah, I have to look at that. Anyway, I'm going to keep it to children because I think that's the right thing to do. I can be convinced of it later. It's a very, change to children. It's a very, very minor thing. It's, I believe, if you're watching this video and you think I'm completely off base on this, no, don't compare. Okay, so now we can do this. Delete, yes, delete. And you did. Yes, you did. Okay. So we should have seen that. We can close that. And now we're there. And I'll push up a new package later because I think that was all the milestones that were for this one. Yeah, so I'll push that package later. But that's all I'm going to do in this episode. I keep saying I'm eventually going to get to source generators. That is high on my list, but I also want to get my blog up now, so that kind of rose higher on my priority, so to speak. So I need to get that up and running and concentrate on that too. There's always work to do. There's always work to do. So, all right, that's it for now. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.